Welcome to the Nuff Said Podcast, episode 18. Ooh, we're getting so close to 20, I can almost smell it. Or is that you, Jack?
It's probably me.
It's probably a combination of our aromas. We should introduce ourselves. I am Reprocessed Rob Southgate, and with me is...
Jailbird Jack Wingrosky.
Oh, every time. You know what? I wish my name began with a J. I like the Jello, the Jailbird. I'm digging on these.
I think you're getting jealous.
Oh, see? Oh, you were jealous one other time, weren't you?
I was.
See, nobody wants to be Rubenesque, and that's what I was.
But that's what you still are. No offense.
You have seen me with my shirt off. Well, now that that's out of the way, so...
That's what she said.
So let's talk about this episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then we do have a little bit of news to talk about today, too. So this was episode 15 of the first season, Yes Men. So, Jack, what'd you think of this episode?
Well, I thought it had a lot of elements that people have been waiting for. Some Asgard action. I think Sith was in good form.
So, okay. So, yeah, Sif. I loved Sif on here. I think that's such a great character, and I really like that actress, Jamie Alexander. I think she's awesome.
Yeah, she was. You know, the action thing. Although, I thought the interplay between her and May was kind of... I don't know. They tried to make it like, you know, hey, like it's a what-up thing. But then when May really...
What do you mean a what-up thing?
Like, you know... Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing?
Hey, what up?
I'm tough chick. Hey, what up with you? You know, kind of like a Brooklyn thing, you know, like a couple like, you know, kind of like a little belly busters and you know, boom, hey, how you doing? Hey, you know, that kind of, but when the Asgardians...
Are we watching the same show?
Didn't you see where May, like, got to hold the sword and she was spinning around
I got
a little
that.
bit.
I didn't get belly busters out of that or anything, but
well, like May and her were like peas in a pod, kind of like, you know, part of the sorority. But you know, that's
probably pretty accurate. They were kind of sorority sisters talking it out or something, right?
Right. Except you know when Lorelai swatted May, it was like no contest.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
well,
it was
Lorelai
like
is Asgardian, so I mean, she just stomped on everybody when she hit that first guy, the guy that she stole away from his newlywed wife.
Oh yeah,
when she hit that guy, boom! He goes flying over the car. It's like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hurt. All I could think of is, man, that probably put a dent in the car.
Right.
I
was thinking of putting a dent in him.
Yeah. And see, I'm like to that age where I was really thinking about the damage to the car.
Right.
I'm sorry to say that, and that is very shallow of me. But she said they'd be together till the end, and that was the end.
Well, that was the end, because we didn't see that guy get up and walk away.
I have to say, I did get a little. I'm kind of getting a little tired of like May's, like her like badness, and how, you know, that whole thing has been kind of played up, and
what, the toughness that she's got.
Yeah, and you know, like she's used it more against now her team than anybody else.
Right.
You know,
it's like she's throwing around her intimidation on the team.
Right. And
yeah, I totally get that.
You know, so you know, and then it was like Worf. You know, Worf never won he never, like, you know, like the whole Klingon thing. He never won a battle from somebody that was on the Enterprise.
Right. He wasn't fighting his own.
Right. When he was fighting his own, he was a great Klingon, great warrior. But if it was against Jean-Luc Picard or number 2, then, you know, he got his butt whooped.
Okay, I got a question. Maybe you can enlighten me here a little bit. I got actually a little bit confused at some point here. Big surprise, right?
Mm.
So it was the May and Ward scenes when they were talking, and how do I even say this? I feel like I missed something.
Okay.
Why was she mad at Ward like through the whole thing? I get why she was mad at him at the end because the Lorelai said, "Oh, when he talked about who he loved, it wasn't you." But why did she seem mad at him at the beginning? Did something happen between the two of them a couple episodes ago that I forgot about?
No, well, see, that's the thing that's getting really tiresome about May, is because she just seems mad about everything all the time. And no, I think the
So
whole
she's kind of
thing,
a one-trick pony, is what you're saying.
yeah, it's very one dimensional. There's no rhyme or reason to it anymore. I think she was trying to um I think she was trying to minimize the damage, I guess, in Coulson's eyes about their her and Ward's relationship. So she's being standoffish and kind of no, I can take care of business. I don't care about him. No, really, I don't. But I do. But I don't. But I do. But I don't.
Right.
And
Well, see,
yeah,
it seemed to me like what I remember is she had exposed that to Coulson about the relationship, and Ward was a little off put by that. But I didn't remember them having like conflict over it. And what we were seeing tonight seemed more like there was conflict, and I just don't recall it. Now, going forward, of course, we see what it is. He's in love with someone else, and I know that I was looking on Instagram, and people put all these pictures of Ward, and they were saying. Finally, Skyward is going to happen. That's what they're calling the relationship between Sky and Ward. Yeah,
Skyward.
Skyward.
Yeah.
And they were excited about that. I'm like, well, that's what the implication is, but we don't know if that is exactly what's going on.
Right. There's no. It could be that. It could be something totally different. That's the whole thing of having mentioned it to Lorelai, they didn't sound it out.
Right.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be Sky. They could change their mind at any point here.
Right. Well, and having it be Sky, I know that people want that to happen, but it seems a little easy to me. It's just like if Fitz and Simmons are a couple, and Sky and Ward are a couple, and May and Coulson become a couple. First of all, what a weird work environment. It's not really how it should be working in the real world, but at the same time, it seems too easy. I mean, those are the obvious setups, like their positions and who they are. That doesn't seem like a show that's going to be very interesting going forward. So maybe possibly they're going to do Skyward with Simmons being interested in Fitz being interested in the Sky, kind of on the peripheral.
Right.
Okay, I can get some of that, but I kind of liked that there was that tension that Sky was interested in Ward and Ward was with May, but in a business type relationship, booty call relationship rather than a love relationship. I think that worked well. So I'm a little nervous about what this is going forward, but I was a little confused. I didn't remember them having a conflict. You know what I mean?
No, well, the whole thing has been awkward since it happened. Between Ward and May, it's just been like, like in high school when two kids are really not ready to go out, they keep punching each other in the shoulder.
Okay.
That's Ward.
Jack, is that why you kept punching me in the shoulder when we were in high school? Were you trying to tell me something?
No.
No. Thank goodness.
I love Greg Louganis.
Oh, really?
No, I just saw him on Chopped, so
Yes. Oh, so did we. Did you like that one?
Oh, that was awesome. He is just so
awesome.
nervous, and he's like positive like the whole time, but he's just,
That
just,
was a great episode where they had all the different sports celebrities,
oh
and
yeah,
like the oak tree was on there. He's awesome.
oh
And I
yeah,
love how this guy, he's on there and he's like, no, I've catered for 600 people. Like, he's the real deal.
oh yeah.
I thought they were all good.
When he was cutting up the potato, I mean, he was just like rip, 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 and they were like,
Yeah,
dude, where'd the knife work come from?
yeah,
Dude,
yeah. That was cool.
that was more interesting than the relationship with Ward and May.
Yeah, there you go, Jack. Way to bring it back.
Thank you. I want somebody to punch May in the face so hard I can taste it.
Oh, I don't want that. I like May. I just think that they've okay. I'm going to agree with you that as of late they have really made that character one note. They really have the whole time, but she was more interesting in the beginning. Like, we got little reveals about her. The last few episodes where they've brought her in and done something with her, it's been kind of the same thing over and over, very one note. But the way the show ended tells me they're going to do more with her now.
Yeah, but it doesn't even seem like in a good way. She's ratted out the team.
Well, yeah, but you know what?
She's the leak.
She's the leak, but it's not. I think they're leading us on here. I think that once again, the implication is you're supposed to think, oh my gosh, she's working against him. She's like a double agent working for Shield. I don't know if that's the case, or if she truly did this as a way to protect Coulson. Like, her assignment is, Coulson the best. You need to be close to him and be watching, because she does care for Coulson.
Right. But she doesn't get the essence of the team. I don't think she's working against. I think she's working within the system. But we don't trust the system. If you like,
right. Yeah, the whole team is breaking that. I mean, Coulson this week threw down.
Oh yeah. I'm like,
he and Sky are done.
Right. We are not playing by the rules anymore. But May is still like, hey, mom, hey, dad, look what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's just making me increasingly mad and not like her.
Okay. Well, I think that's all going to change for you. And I have a couple of thoughts on this. Because, we're inching up on Winter Soldier coming out. And Winter Soldier is definitely going to play a big factor in this. And tonight I was thinking about this. Now, first of all, they've got Nick Fury is missing. And when are we going to find Nick Fury? Well, guess what? Nick Fury is in Captain America. He's got to surface.
Right. Well,
so I think he's going to surface before Captain America comes out. So on the next episode, possibly, we'll get the reveal of where Nick Fury is, or it will end with something that'll lead us down that path.
Right.
At the same time, yeah, go ahead.
I said one of the blogs that I saw said, yeah, you're not going to see Nick Fury. He's off the grid because he's doing a movie.
Yeah, well, you know what? That movie's long done. His time there is long done. I'm sure when they shot the other stuff, they shot the S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff with him at the same time. Hey, you got the suit on. Put the patch on. Let's go. So what I'm thinking is we're going to find out about Nick Fury. He's gonna come back onto the grid, or at least there's going to be some type of thing leading into the movie, because he does have a presence there. He is back with S.H.I.E.L.D. at that point, showing up. Okay? I think that S.H.I.E.L.D., if you watch those trailers, the helicarrier blows up. From what I understand, S.H.I.E.L.D. is in shambles at the end of this Captain America movie.
Really?
Okay?
Well, I guess, yeah, the whole Captain America
is
like, it's like almost like a fight within the system.
Right, and that is going to affect this show in a big, bad way. Now, if they're already going rogue, this could be like S.H.I.E.L.D. on its own. You know what I mean? Like, these guys could be completely separate. They're representing S.H.I.E.L.D., they're doing their thing. Yes, there will be S.H.I.E.L.D. operatives out there. You're not going to get rid of all of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I think it's going to be splintered. It's going to take a different form after Captain America. And at that point, May will have to decide whether she is S.H.I.E.L.D. or Coulson's S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
I think that's what we're going to see. And I think she's going to go Coulson's Shield because it doesn't make sense to have her against it. She cares too much for Coulson, and she is too good at what she does. She was resistant in the beginning, and it was probably not that she was resistant to be pulled back into the fold. She was resistant because she didn't want to be ratting on Coulson. But now she knows this is for the best in her opinion.
Right. It doesn't.
I think I'm right. I don't know.
You may be. It's not making me like her character any the more.
Boy, you're harsh.
It's, I hate to say it, but I really wanted more from her at the beginning. I wanted more from Ward, and I'm starting to get it. Fitz and Simmons still, seem a little. They're getting better, a little lost. Sky is getting very interesting. At this point, she's like,
they're really working on that story.
Right. She's telling Coulson, dude, chill out. I'm a 084. What else can happen?
Yeah, that was excellent. We don't even know what I am. I'm a 084. That was good. Well, you know what? Fitz and Simmons are two of my favorites, and I actually think they've been interesting the whole time. I think the only time they made a misstep with them was in the very beginning when they started to play Fitz for more of a comedic character. And then it felt a little forced when they were changing that. But you remember when they did the episode with the sandwich and they really did force it. I think that was the turning point. I have found those two characters probably the most interesting since that point.
Yeah, I think you're right. They've kind of started to find their own. There's still a lot of awkwardness there. Yeah. It's like, are they going to ever figure out the fact that they're probably made for each other?
Right.
Except, they still treat each other like brother and sister.
Right. Yeah. Well, she obviously has something for him. He's oblivious.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Okay, let's talk about the best thing. They got rid of the name the Night gun. I am very happy with that. I thought that was, the gun was cool, but I thought the name was stupid.
Oh yeah.
I like the new name, the Icer.
I don't even remember what that stood for, but it's like a much better title.
Yeah, it was incapacitating cartridge emitting something.
Yeah.
And that's as much as I got written down. I just thought the name Icer, that's a really cool name for that, for what it does and how it works. I thought that was really cool. Let's talk about the whole Asgard thing.
Oh, before we do that, we were talking about Fury being off the grid.
Yeah.
And what was the agent that he called the favor? And Coulson called Agent
Sitwell.
Sitwell comes out and said, "Look, Fury is off the grid." He said, "Somebody else I know was off the grid. By the way, how was Tahiti? Tahiti sucked."
Yeah, that was great.
And Jack! It just drove off.
You were right.
Yeah,
that body was. I think it was a Kree.
Yeah, because he starts quizzing Lady Sif. Oh, you've been to other realms and worlds, and how many of them are blue? The Centurions, and that was interesting.
She name checks the Kree in there, doesn't she?
Yeah, and the Kree popped up. The Kree's been popping up on the internet everywhere.
You know what? The other one she name checked, though, were the Frost Giants that were in Thor.
Uh-huh.
And after she said that, and then they showed that clip of the creature inside the tube, I don't know. There's a chance that it's a Frost Giant.
It could be.
But I like the idea of it being a Kree. I thought that was a really good call on your part.
Yes, I will totally take credit for that. There's so many Marvel things that I get wrong, but that was one.
But that one, yeah. I thought that was a really good one. So I was really excited when they said that tonight. As soon as she said Kree, I was like, oh, I know Jack's right. I know he nailed that one.
So you were saying about the well, thank you very much. So you were saying about the Asgardians.
Well, yeah, I just want to talk about that. I mean, that was the thrust of the episode. Here we've got Asgardians interacting with Shield like crazy. We had Peter McNichol. Now we've had Lorelei, we've had Sif, We also know that, obviously Thor has too. I thought they handled that all really well because if we go by the Thor movie, Thor is here, but they just don't know it because they said that. They said, oh, is Thor, is it Thor? They thought Thor was traveling back from Asgard, but we know that he's here with Jane.
Oh, that's right.
So, I thought that was pretty interesting. That there was that little bit of a callback to the movie. It was a little bit subtle, but that was a callback to him trying to be normal. Sif couldn't be normal if she tried. With the sword and the shield and the just everything. Sif stands out. I thought Sif was awesome. I thought that sword was awesome. I want to see more Sif. They could really do. I go back to they could take one of those Netflix series and do a Sif series, do it like they do in the comic where she's kind of going between realms. Oh my gosh, I could watch that. I'd watch that every week.
The Sif series fighting the Centurions.
Yeah, I actually find that character. I don't know why. I find that character more interesting than I do Thor. And I like the Thor movies. I always liked Thor as a kid. I find Sif to be just there's something really interesting, and it's probably that she seems a little smarter than Thor, and she seems more skilled, because Thor it's all about fighting with a big heavy hammer,
right?
And she seems to really be a warrior.
Well, almost a little too. To me, she's a little stiff. I really didn't see her kind of catch into her own until she got the collar over Lorelei. And then it was all she could do, like not to laugh, when she's like, what are you going to say now? Huh?
Yeah, right.
And
that muzzle was pretty good too.
Oh yeah. And that was like the first time where I felt like, okay, she wasn't, like overly stiff, and if she had like twisted her head and her torso and her neck at opposite directions, she was actually going to crack in half.
Yeah.
Like then it was okay, that's the Sif that we need.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think that you're right. In this episode, she didn't get to really be Sif, but it made me want more. And I really hope that they're doing something here, just like they are with Black Widow, where, that was one of the news stories last week. We talked about how they're doing the Black Widow movie, or they're talking about it. There was more of that coming out. There was more stuff all week because of Winter Soldier and the buzz on how good that is, what a big part she has in that. And then, it came out that she's pregnant, so now they're trying to rush the Black Widow scenes for the Avengers movie before she starts showing. And before she can't do some of these things. And they're saying, yeah, this very much looks like it's heading towards Black Widow being its own franchise, which I love. And I think Sif could be just as powerful a female character with her own. I'm thinking TV series. I don't know if that character would draw the audiences that a Thor would, but I'm telling you, as a series on Netflix, it would be huge.
Oh yeah, what's that old TV series with
Green Acres?
No, Xena, Princess
Xena. Yeah, Warrior Princess.
Yeah, Warrior Princess. Yeah, that would totally fill that kind of void.
Yeah. Don't make it as campy. Make it more like Thor, but with Sif, and you would have a winning show.
Oh yeah,
I think. And how about Lorelei? I don't think we got nearly enough Lorelei. I think Lorelei should have been a bad guy that was hanging around for a few episodes.
Oh man, she is doing that part great.
Oh, she's great. And I love how they would change the voice when she was doing her sorcery.
Uh-huh.
And when she would touch them and they just can't resist. And they're like, yeah, well, women could resist. There's something about men. Yeah, you think? I mean, she was pouring it on. Of course, every guy is like, I'll do anything you say. Yeah, at one point
I did like the fact that Word was like that second level that she had to actually touch him.
Yeah, he was more resistant. Whereas I have a feeling that she walked in and Fitz just saw her and he went, Whatever you need, ma'am.
But here's another detail that I get a little tired of, and this
Yeah.
isn't the only show that does that. Lorelai had picked him, who was supposed to like the best of what Agents of Shield have to offer, and he could actually amass the gold and the troops and the army to take over the Earth. That it was just boom. Yet May just comes in and and kicks his butt yet again. Of course, it almost seems like he's
Oh no,
got.
I don't think she kicked his butt. In fact, he pulled the trigger on her.
That's true. Yeah,
And
if she hadn't taken the cartridge, she'd be gone.
right, and they have implied in the past that she is as cool as he can be, and James Bondy and everything. That she is higher up on that food chain. So when they were fighting, I thought actually that he did much better than I thought he would against her.
Yeah, well, he's supposed to be the attack guy. That's that thing where they always try to play May up and all that. But like I say, I want to see this against other people. All I ever see is them knocking out people of their own
Yeah,
team.
yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. They need to break out of that and start getting into the real world with these guys, so we can see what May is really made of. Stop teasing that she's the cavalry.
Right.
Show us what that is. I know they played around with that, and they have shown a little bit, like when they got the 084 at first, and we saw them in that in the jungle.
Uh
We
huh.
got a glimpse of it, but you're right. After that point, it's mainly been against each other. I want to see her do her thing. Like, give us a May episode.
Right. See, to
Yeah, I
me,
think that would take the bad taste out of your mouth too.
yeah, hopefully, like I say, right now she just seems like the schoolhouse bully. Yeah, and I need to see her step up into what Agent May should be.
Right, right. We need to develop the character more. It needs to be fleshed out more for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So speaking of getting tough, how about Coulson one punching Fitz and he's out?
I don't know. Is that much
I
of
don't know, man.
a yard
That
arm?
was
I don't.
one. That was one punch. That was impressive.
Colson is a full agent. When he's in full when he's at full run, and he's doing anything that all the other agents are doing. And plus, he's got re-engineered insides too.
Oh yeah, right, right, right. Yeah. Well, I mean, we know that he's all that, but you don't really get to see. I mean, the fact that he goes in there and one punches him, Fitz is gone,
Right.
and then he had that big shiner. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Because it could have been that he hit him with a tank or something, like a gas tank, but no, fist, bam.
Right.
And that was funny too when he walked in and Simmons tried to clock him and he stopped her.
Yeah.
He's like, he's like, I'm me.
What are you doing? Are you?
Yeah.
And but as funny as that was, yet again, it was more of the team hitting the other,
Hitting each other, right?
hitting each other. You know,
Right.
again, it was a funny moment, but still, I'm seeing a pattern here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we need to get them off that plane and get them fighting on the ground. And I think this week it was because Jamie Alexander was on. You've got your movie Sith on the show. They don't want to do a lot outside of their environment, so it kind of limited what they were doing there. I was listening to uh, another podcast. Actually, we'll have a little announcement about this show at the end. But I was listening to the Welcome to Level 7. Let me say that again. I was listening to the Welcome to Level 7 podcast, and they were talking about all this. And one of the things that I think Ben on there, or Daniel, one of them might have said, was they think that we're going to see Chris Evans show up in a cameo as Captain America in the next couple weeks.
Ooh, that would be very cool.
So speaking of, hey, they have Sif on, and they're limited in what they can do. If they bring in like Chris Evans, it would have to be one of those little short tags at the end. But they're thinking it might be something leading to the movie, which, you want to put butts in the seats, which you're already going to do. Let him show up at the end. Everybody watching the show is going to be like in line for a ticket the next day. I know I'm going to be.
Oh yeah, it's going to be huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, have you ever gone back? Did you watch the previews?
I did actually.
How'd you like them?
I thought they were awesome. I thought I was
that
glad
Winter
actually,
Soldier looks just killer, doesn't it?
It does. In fact, on one of them, they shortened the preview on the elevator, which is kind of nice. They pretty much almost gave up the whole fight scene in the movie, and it was almost
the elevator scene.
Yeah.
If you saw, oh man, because I've seen it a few times. When I went to see some movie, they showed that beforehand, and they showed the extended cut. It was the entire fight scene in the elevator. I mean, it went on for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. If they're showing that much of that, then and that scene is just really cool. There's no way they're going to like reveal that and the rest of it isn't going to be 10 times more awesome.
Well, I hope so, but I do notice that in these clips that was very much reduced. So I think the movie one was the entire scene. But but part 2 of the Winter Soldier really kind of went even more towards the Winter Soldier clips, and that was even a little more interesting too. I was glad I went back and saw.
Oh yeah, for the Winter Soldier ones, yeah, those are really cool, aren't they? Do you know who the Winter Soldier is?
Part 2, just the surface details.
Okay, so do you know who the character is? Do you know? Because they haven't talked about it on here, but if you read the comics, you know exactly who that character is.
Mm-mm.
So you don't.
I don't. I know he was.
Yeah.
I know he was. He was one of the SHIELD team members, wasn't he?
Kind of. He is. You saw the first one, right? The first Captain America.
Yes.
It's Bucky.
Oh.
And remember how you thought Bucky died falling out of the train?
Right.
Yeah, it's Bucky. And I think what we're going to see is that they use alien technology to bring him back.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's why they're showing you this on S.H.I.E.L.D. So when you see it in the movie, anyone watching the show is going to be like, oh, awesome, it's that. But they'll be able to make it look like in the movie, like it'll just be, this is what it is, and it'll make sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's what the setup is going to be. I'm telling you, I'm really excited for Winter Soldier. Those Winter Soldier comics are fantastic books.
Now, this may be an offshoot, but do you think that arm is part of Deathlock?
Oh, I don't know.
Boom. Did I just do it again?
You're like Britney Spears. Oops, you did it again, Jack.
I'm going to shave half my head.
She didn't shave half her head. She shaved it all, didn't she?
Well, but there were like pictures like in steps.
Okay.
I think they had to do the full thing eventually.
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah, I think I saw it when it was the full thing.
So
that's terrible. Yeah, so good. I'm glad you watched those previews. I think that looks awesome. Did you watch the other previews? Did you watch the Guardians of the Galaxy one? Please tell me you watched it.
I so want to tell you I didn't watch it, but I did.
And what'd you think?
I thought it was funny. It's just gonna be a lot of laughs, I think.
Yeah. I think it's going to be funny, but I think the action is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, the what's the guy that his wife got killed and he's just on a rampage all the time?
Oh, what do you mean in the comics?
In the movie, the comic character. They said, yeah, his family got killed, so he's been like on this like rampage throughout the galaxy, and he's kind of, it's like their version. He's like a mini Hulk.
Okay.
So he's just like pissed
Oh,
off.
oh, I know who you mean. Yeah. Oh man, now you're killing me. I can't think of his name.
Um, but anyway, that was funny. But the one thing, what was the human character in that?
Star Lord.
Yeah, who calls him that? Pretty much himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of. Who does that?
Drax. Drax is the guy you were talking about. Drax the Destroyer.
Drax the Destroyer. Yeah. But he kind of reminds me of a character from Battlestar Galactica, or
who does Drax?
No, Star-Lord.
Oh, Star-Lord? Yeah, Star-Lord. You know what? I've been reading the Guardians of the Galaxy comics. It was not one that was really on my radar before. I thoroughly enjoy them. I think Star-Lord's a great character. I think the whole thing is really cool. You know, they're saying these are C-level Marvel characters that people aren't familiar with. You know what? They're gonna be. They're not gonna be C-level after this thing hits. I think this movie's gonna be huge. And I think people that are getting interested, you know, even just the trailer got people to read the comics. I think you're going to find a lot of people reading those and just really getting into this. The comics are great, and like Rocket Raccoon, who technically should be the stupidest character, it's a raccoon,
right?
Is so awesome in the comics. And like when he rides on Groot's back and fires his gun, and they showed it in the preview when he's shooting the gun and Groot's like screaming. I mean, I was so in. It's like, just take my money. You know? How fast can I get Groot with Rocket Raccoon riding on his back as an action figure? I need that on my desk.
Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome.
So awesome.
Now, I wonder if Rocket Raccoon was one of these characters that spawned. There's a lot of these. Who's the raccoon on the Xbox 360?
360? Sly Cooper?
Sly Cooper. I wonder if that kind of had anything to do with it.
Either that or Star Fox.
Yeah.
Remember Star Fox on Nintendo?
Yeah. I wonder if either of those, like, if there's the chicken or the egg kind of thing here.
Yeah,
or
right.
Or if it's totally separate.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be interesting. So we get.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to kind of take it back to the show.
Okay, I thought we were kind of done with the show. I mean, I think we covered a lot of it. Is there anything else that we need to hit?
Well, I was just kind of saying, how perfect was this whole Caesar Palace thing?
Oh, that was great. When he says, I know a place where there's guys with a lot of money, and there's a lot of guys. I was like, yeah, I wonder where he's taking him. Caesar's Palace. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. And I like when they busted in the room there, and I was watching it with Molly, our daughter, and as soon as they went in that room, she's covering her eyes and trying not to look because she thought that like it was going down, and like, Molly, there's no way. She's not there. She's taking Ward. Whatever. They're out of there. This was the first one that had like a scene with Ward and Lorelai that I was like, yeah, we're gonna just cover up Molly's eyes on this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this show has been pretty family friendly, but that was a little much for a 7-year-old.
Now, has there been as much kind of hoopla about the Amazing Spider-Man coming out? So I haven't heard as much.
What, are you kidding me?
I haven't heard as much about it as the Captain America. I haven't seen anything on mainstream TV yet.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No.
No, there's been a ton. In fact, I've got some Spider-Man news to talk about. But they've been hyping that thing like crazy. Captain America comes out before Spider-Man, so we're closer to Captain America, so you're going to get hit with more of that. Plus, being part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that Disney owns, it's getting the hype on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, next week is that episode where they're doing, analyzing or assembling the universe.
Uh-huh.
And they're going to show us Guardian of the Galaxy footage that we haven't seen. It's going to show Captain America stuff. There's going to be some Ultron footage in there, and that Spider-Man stuff is not going to be there. It's just like with X-Men. If you're really plugged into this stuff, well, yeah, you might not realize they're promoting the heck out of that X-Men stuff and promoting the heck out of that Spider-Man stuff, but they really are.
Right. Okay.
It's really hitting the radar big time. In fact, so I might as well hit my Spider-Man news.
Dude, I have to tell you, though, I'm looking at the Captain America Winter Soldier poster, and it's got Nick Fury in the background, but it also has this pose like of Scarlett Johansson holding the two pistols and doing like the hip sway, and it's just
my gosh, it's
killing
killer,
me. Oh yeah,
this too.
Yeah, this is like Pulp Fiction meets the old heavy metal animation kind of.
Oh yeah.
Only it's really her. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, it's a killer, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. So back to Spider-Man. So yeah, there was just a little bit of news. There was on Superhero Hype this week. There was an article about the Spider-Man producers. They were talking about Venom and the Sinister Six, talking about Venom and the Sinister Six spin-offs. And I mean, I know that there have been rumors about these things, and back in December they announced like, yeah, we're planning on doing this. Well, if you read this article, it's like this is exactly what's happening. They really do have a really solid bead on what they're doing with these franchises. I feel just from reading this, I was buying into it big time.
Yeah.
And there was one other thing. So they're going to do. Shoot, I lost it. Oh, here it is. So the thing that I thought was cool is it actually in this article at the end tells you who is directing and who is writing. So for the Venom spinoff, it's Alex Kurtzman, Roberto Orci, and Ed Solomon are going to write the Marvel spinoff, and Kurtzman is going to direct. And then for the Sinister Six, it's written and directed by Drew Goddard, who is also the guy that wrote Cabin in the Woods and did that with Joss Whedon.
Ah.
Now, this is once again from the Sony side of things, but maybe they're grooming Drew for kind of being the Joss Whedon of the Sony universe. I'm not sure. So pretty interesting. And I mean, I am really interested in seeing what he would do with Sinister Six. I think it sounds super cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be a great project.
Yeah, so that was my Spider-Man news. There was also a lot of stuff about. Drew Goddard is also the one that's going to be running Daredevil.
Really?
Yes. So, once again, I'm pretty interested. He wrote World War Z, or the script for it. He worked on Lost and Alias, and he's worked with, as we've said, Joss Whedon on Buffy and on Angel. I mean, this is a guy I think can handle this and is going to do some really cool stuff. He can do it with Sinister Six. I'm confident he's going to do it with Daredevil. So that's what I wanted to hit on right there.
Cool.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think I started to say something else and I got sidetracked by my Drew Goddard love fest I had to have. Let's talk more news. So another thing that we found out. Now we've been getting these guest stars on S.H.I.E.L.D., and there is another one that was announced this week. Adrian Pastar is going to be on. You might not know his name. I didn't know his name, but he used to be on Heroes. He was the one that was the mayor. I think it was a mayor. Remember there was the Peter that had the superpowers. Did you watch Heroes?
The TV series?
Yeah, the TV series.
A little bit.
Okay, there was Peter, the kid that was kind of like Superman. Like he had all these powers, and he was like a male nurse, and his brother was running for mayor or something, and his brother, you found out later, had the same superpowers. Well, the guy that played the brother, the one that was going to be the mayor, Pastor is going to play Glenn Talbot on the series. Glenn Talbot is a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who pops up in the Hulk books a lot. He's a big pain in the ass for the Hulk.
Okay.
So once again, so we've seen this stuff tying us to Asgard or to Thor. Here we're bringing in a character that's tying us to the Hulk side of things, which once again makes me think we could see She-Hulk, we could see Red Hulk, we could see any of these different things coming forward in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And this character did show up. Glenn Talbot did show up in the Hulk movie from 2003. So this is a character that's been around. We're going to get him showing up this season. I think sometime in April on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I don't know. I think that's pretty awesome.
So how excited are you? Are you into the Falcon?
Are you kidding me? Falcon was one of my favorite characters when I was a kid. I love that character. So I'm totally down with this happening. I've also heard rumors of that becoming a series too.
Yeah, that would be cool. You know, they seem to be really developing his character.
Yeah. The previews and everything really are putting him at the forefront, and it is an awesome character with an awesome backstory. So I think just like they've done with Black Widow, I mean, are they going to keep making movies out of all of these? Are they going to do TV things? What are they going to do with them? I'm not sure. But they're handling them right. And I think the Falcon looks like he's handled properly. I think the Falcon is going to be awesome in the movie, and you're going to want more Falcon when it's done.
Yeah. Now, you haven't said anything about the Age of Ultron yet. Is there any news or what's going on with that?
Nothing since we talked last week. I think we're going to have some hit next week after the Assembling the Universe shows up. But no, it's been fairly quiet on that. We found out about the Vision. We found out about Ultron himself. That's been about it. Now, there is more news on two of the stories that we've talked about in the past couple of weeks. One is with the Fantastic Four movie. There's been a lot of controversy about the casting. People are saying they're too young. They're not the right actors for the job. I'm sorry. I think it's going to be fine. I know a lot of people hate on those first two movies. I like them okay. They're not terrible. There's parts of them that are really cool and parts of them that are torture, but whatever. There's a lot worse out there. It's still superhero movies, and it's what I would have craved when I was a kid. I'm still happy they're there. Well, with this, same thing, but I think they're going to handle this better because they're trying to be in that universe with the Spider-Man films, with the X-Men films. Remember, this is Fox, and that's where they're putting together all the good X-Men stuff. They're going to want to handle this property the same way.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring this up is they have now announced they've narrowed it down to 4 different people for the character of Doctor Doom. And Doctor Doom is really important. You got to get this character right. I don't know any of these actors. So it's not going to do us any good, but they do have it narrowed down to 4. I'll name them. Somebody out there might go like, woo, that's great. I don't know. Domhnall Gleeson, who's from About Time, Toby Kebbell from Wrath of the Titans, Eddie Redmayne from Les Miserables, and Sam Riley from On the Road. Couldn't tell you anything about them. I'm looking at pictures of the 4 of them. I think maybe Toby Kebbell is my vote for Doctor Doom. I don't know. But they are getting closer, and that is going to start filming in June.
Ah.
So, actually, that might not even be right. It might even be this month that they're going to start filming in Baton Rouge. I just read that. It says it's expected to begin in March in Baton Rouge. Holy cow, I thought it was June. Wow. They better lock this down. If they're going to cast the bad guy, they better get that figured out pretty quick.
Yeah.
So the other one is Doctor Strange. Now that one keeps coming up. We keep hearing that this might happen, it might not. And then I think the last week when we talked about it, we were talking about how they were saying that the actors that are getting talked about are not the actors. Well, this I thought was interesting. They have now come down to 3 names for director of Doctor Strange. And I think the most important part of this, I'll give you the 3 names. One of the names to me stands out as, if this doesn't happen with Doctor Strange, this director is going to end up directing one of these Marvel movies at some point, and it's going to be the right fit. The names of the three directors are Scott Derrickson, who did Sinister and Exorcism of Emily Rose. A pretty interesting choice, I think.
Yeah.
Jonathan Levine, who did 50-50 and Warm Bodies. Now, I didn't see Warm Bodies. I heard that was really, really good. Is he the right choice for Doctor Strange? I don't know. But the one that I think is the most interesting is a guy named Mark Andrews. He directed the movie Brave. Did you see Brave?
No, I never did.
Yeah, Brave
is that the animated?
Yes. Brave is pretty awesome. It's one of those movies that I hear people hate on now. People hate on everything. Like 6 months after a movie comes out, they start hating on things. I'm the opposite. If I like it, I like it. We loved Brave, and we've watched it multiple times, and I have yet to walk away from it going, yeah, it was okay. It's one of my favorite Pixar movies. I really, really enjoy it. And I think a live-action Marvel film with Mark Andrews at the helm is totally the right fit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And I think that's it for the news stuff. I only have one more thing. Do you have more you want to talk about?
No, I think we've covered quite a bit.
Okay, I got one more. Yeah, we did. This ran long. I got one more. So, Jack, we have talked about our janitor, Charlie, many times.
Superhero. He's our superhero power of cleaning up superhero messes.
Right. So today I went on and I found a thing called 28 Fun Facts Marvel Comics probably didn't know. You probably didn't know about Marvel.
Uh-huh.
And I think on one of our podcasts, we should actually just break these down. We should just go through them and maybe talk about them a little bit because there are some really fun ones in here. But the one that I wanted to point out is they have a picture, and I'm going to post this on, you know what? I'm going to send it out on our new Instagram page, which is Enough Said Podcast. Just go to Instagram and follow us on that. You can follow us on Twitter at Enough Said Podcast, and it will also tweet there. But the tweet will say, and the Instagram will say, Damage Control. It's a cover of a comic. It was a 4-issue limited series that Marvel did. It's a group from the Marvel Universe. It's a company called Damage Control that specializes in cleaning up the mess that superheroes and supervillains leave behind.
Yes.
So we created this superhero character, but they actually have like the Marvel cleaning crew. Somebody already came up with it. I love that. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, we should try to take credit for that.
We thought of it first. You know what? I'm going to jump back in my DeLorean and we'll ride back in time. We have to go back to, let's see, I wonder what year this is. Looks like it's sometime in the mid 80s, judging by the cover here. Let's see. It says 1989 Marvel Entertainment Group. So we're going to go back to 88. I don't want to go back to high school, so we'll go to like 87, 88. And we will claim that we came up with this first. And then we'll just say one of these characters is Charlie the janitor.
That's right. And, I think we'll get the billions of dollars in back royalties that would have generated.
Yeah. Right after they pay Stan Lee, they'll start paying us, right?
Right. Yeah. I see that.
You know what? As long as we're touched on this, I'm going to just end that one. I'll just leave that alone. But I will post that stuff wherever, and we'll probably put it on our website too, or on our Facebook page for sure. But the website is www.southgatemediagroup.com. And you can also find our Facebook page, just Enough Said Podcast, and you'll find us there. Please join in the conversation. Find us on iTunes and rate us and review us. That really helps. It helps others find us, is really what it does. But I've got one more thing here. There is a DVD, Blu-ray, whatever, coming out, which is called Avengers Confidential, Black Widow, and Punisher. And it's like anime, and it looks amazing. So I just happened to see that when I was looking up that other thing. I popped on here, and it had that as one of the headlines on superherohype.com. And Yeah, as soon as we hang up, I'm going to watch these clips because they look fantastic. Come on, man. Black Widow, Punisher. I think that's the team up right there.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the movie you're looking for, too. Do a Black Widow standalone, then do Black Widow Punisher together in a film that reintroduces Punisher into the cinematic world after we get our dream series on Netflix with Punisher. And you know what? I actually want Thomas Jane to play Punisher again. I thought he was awesome as the Punisher.
Yeah.
So there you go. But there you go. Look that up too, because that one looks really cool. I think that's going to be a must-buy. This Avengers Confidential. I wonder. Now, I was going to ask if you know anything about it, but I also know you're going to say no. But I wonder if this is going to be like a direct-to-video series of Avengers anime. Which, if it is, take my money. This looks awesome. I'm pretty much down with it.
Yeah, I think they would definitely have you there.
Yeah, I think so. So, Jack, next week we're going to have some special guests on here, right here on the Nuff Said podcast. Special guest, would you like to say hello?
Hello. I'm special guest.
Yeah, who are you, special guest?
I'm also known as Ben Avery. You can call me Ben. You don't have to call me special guest.
Well,
hello, Ben.
Can we call you
Hey,
Special Ben?
Sure.
So,
yeah.
Or Uncle Ben. I think that would be kind of awesome. Ben, you are going to be on next week with your partner, and tell us your partner and tell us what you're from.
Well, I'm from the Welcome to Level 7 podcast, which is another Marvel podcast about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We do episodes about every single Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode like you do. My co-host is Daniel Butcher, and we're both comic book fans and geeks, and we both love movies. And so, yeah, Marvel stuff, Marvel Cinematic Universe is perfect for us.
We're going to have a rousing conversation next week, I have a feeling.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Jack, did you want to say anything there? You've been awfully silent. Yeah, all right. So there you go. Currently, we've lost Jack. All right, Ben. Well, thank you so much. We will talk to you next week. I can't wait to get into a conversation.
Right. Welcome to level7.com. We welcome everyone, even people who listen to Nuff Said. We welcome you.
All right. Thanks,
Ben. I say that, but I'm a listener. So
all right, cool. Oh, that's going to be exciting. I can't wait until next week. It's going to be a lot of fun to talk to Ben and Daniel and just talk out all that geeky Marvel stuff. And then actually, one more thing, Jack, I don't even know if you and I have talked about this, but in the next couple of weeks, we have also been invited to be part of a Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. roundtable with there's like 4 or 5 other podcast groups that are going to be on there. Yeah. And we're going to share those across all our feeds. So you don't have to go hunting around iTunes to find it. Subscribe to us. It'll be on ours. If you're already subscribing to one of theirs, we'll be on theirs. It's going to be across all platforms. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty exciting, I think.
Yeah. So that's it. Let's wrap it up. Thank you for listening, everybody. This has been the Nuff Said podcast. I am Repossessed Rob Southgate, and with me is
Jailbird Jack Wengroski.
I don't know if I was repossessed at the beginning, but I'm feeling that way now. Thanks again for listening, everybody. We're out of here. Nuff said.
Nuff said.
If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.